Alright, so here we are finding the mean value, or let's briefly talk about the mean value. So mean value has always been there. Surprisingly, any one of us has been introduced to mean value since maybe what, third grade, fourth grade, and surprisingly now whoever viewing this video, you guys are all second year college. What it is of a mean value, how we find it, has never changed. So I'm just gonna get brief on this. Mean value is simply the average value, as you already knew it. And so now once I ring up this bell right here, everybody already would have in mind for yourself how we're gonna be able to calculate the mean value of a data set. And yes, what I'm writing down right here, you already had in mind. To find the mean value. All we do, and you got many ways to word this method to find the mean value right here, but simply how I see it is we're gonna add all data values. And normally I would add for my students a little bit that including repeats. And you naturally would know we're gonna have to add all data values including repeats to clarify it. And then divide by how many there are. In the data. That's how we are saying it in any time that we're communicating with anybody about how to find a mean value. Alright, so that simple concept here, I just want to remind everybody, but I expect that any one of you have already seen and have done some experience with us long ago. And so the only thing sort of like college way about finding the mean here is, how about I'm going to introduce just a symbol for some convenience of use to the later courses, to the later materials that we're going to be doing. But everything is about the same. So let's say you have a data you have n data values in the data. Then I'm gonna start introducing lowercase x with a subscript index is going to be indicating data member. So first data value in your list is x1, x2 is gonna represent second data value. I'm not saying that these two are the same or they have to be different. They could be the same. They just simply represent one physical value that sits on your data. So x1 is the first value, x2 is the first value, is the second value. I apologize. And then x3 and so on and so on. So the last data value is x of n. And so straight out from what I wrote down earlier, and everybody knows that. So the mean value, the way to find the mean value is simply just x1 plus x2 plus x3. Okay, so why x1 plus x2 plus x3 and plus, because we're adding up all data values, plus etc., plus all the way up to the last data x of n. And we divide by how many there are, and so that n number goes into the denominator of your fraction. And so now mean value at a college level, now we're going to start introducing a symbol. So like I said, we've learned this long ago, third grade, fourth grade, I don't know, I can't remember anymore, but back at that time, then we cannot introduce we couldn't introduce too many symbols. So here, when everybody is at a college level, then we're going to start using a lot of symbols. But x bar, lowercase x with a bar, is a famous symbol for the mean value. And so this mean value comes straight out from our definition from the way how we find the mean value, and the way how we find is also just the definition of a mean value. Now, a few places here and there over the web, quite a few websites in these days actually decided to use a summation notation. I'm not too particular about that you have to be able to operate with the summation notation, but that same sum right here, it's a sum, and so we are summing up all the x value with indices I right there, summing up from the first value I equals 1 to the end value, to the end index, and then divide by all they are. But like I said, being comfortable with this formula or not, I'm not too particular about that. You have to be comfortable with this formula, or you have to use that formula. Okay, and so that's how we generally find a mean value. And so let's look at some example.